kind of patient with me. That's what I think. That's what I pretty much told them. You're in a big hurry. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
It was all the same time. So I was glad to see they were going to do it. Yeah. I didn't know they were. I didn't. Tell me this was going to do it.
Keith has done so.
I mean, really, that's what I would love to.
How are you doing? Keith the bus. I can get things from him.
At least it's a good place to be stuck at. Yeah. Get some, yeah.
Every place I go, I turn around. I see that you can get sponsoring
You know how it is, they just hit you up on every, because I wanted to give you this too.
I did, thank you.
Well, actually, there was a gentleman today at the chamber meeting who said, hey, you really did a nice job, which that was the only feedback I received, but, yes.
I had a friend of mine had a problem with zone change on the property in the township.
Well, I didn't hear that. Yeah, but I would like to, Mike Jones polish it up.
I'd like to talk to him. Because they're the zoning department's having a problem looking at it. It's real use.
I told him you were a good prospective membership in the speech. They said we've been asking him.
Okay, great, thanks.
Perfect. Yes. Good. Yeah.
That should be
Obviously involved. I mean, it's one extra organization that you and I, or you gotta go to lunches and this and, We ready to roll?
Let me get my...
Okay.
Twice. I want something. I would like to see those.
I'm with you. I like to keep job security, keep a few things that nobody else knows about.
You don't have to do it. I've seen you try to get in a few times.
Okay, I would like to call to order the regularly scheduled May 1st meeting of the Sylvania Township Board of Trustees.
Call the roll, Mr. Haddad. Here. Mr. Mahoney. Here. Mr. Brenneline.
Here.
Simcoe here.
I'd like to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Did anybody have any issues with the meeting minutes from April 17th?
No.
Present the minutes as posted.
Yeah, we'll accept the minutes as posted. Mr. Brenneline made that motion, and Mr.
Second.
Okay. Mr. Haddad?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Brenneline?
Yes. Any additions or deletions to the agenda?
Yes. Under zoning, I got one issue, and under other.
Okay. Hearing of the agenda?
Nobody signed it.
Nobody? Darrell, you're up.
Good afternoon. We have the March monthly report. It did not make it on the agenda for the last meeting, so we're playing catch-up. We're doing that one now. We'll be doing the April monthly report at the next meeting. For March, actually, it was a little slow permit-wise. We had 15 permits for the month, and last year we had 31, so it's about half the amount. For BZA and zoning commission, also a little bit on the slow side. We only had one case for each one of them. The BZA was the variance for the house on Quezon Avenue, where they're tearing down the existing house and building a new one, but they wanted to keep the existing one up while the new one is being built. And the zoning commission was the fire station zone change on Central Avenue. The next item we had was for the proposed amendment to the zoning resolution allowing light manufacturing and assembly as a conditional use in a C2 general commercial district. Light manufacturing and assembly is defined in the zoning resolution as a use engaged in the process of predominantly and previously prepared materials into finished goods or parts, including processing, fabrication, assembly, treatment, packaging, incidental storage, sales, and distribution of such products, but excluding the processing of raw materials. And this, the light manufacturing and assembly would remain a permitted use in M1 and M2 zone districts. We recommend approval of this request because it would allow businesses a broader location to, as far as location choices within the township, without negatively impacting the surrounding areas. It would be a conditional use, so each individual case would come before the BZA for approval, so none of these would be an automatic. That's pretty much it.
I'll offer resolution 12-06.
We have to have a hearing of the public.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do we open a public hearing on this?
Yes.
We do need to open one for this, yes.
Okay.
We should open a public hearing, and if, we'll go ahead, John.
Okay, I'd like to open the floor for public comment, either for or against.
You have some?
Just had a couple of questions on this. Will the same thing apply that when anything is rezoned or goes for rezoning, will that, will notices be sent out if there will be a change from C2 to M1, since most people already know of a piece of property zoning as it is? Will they be notified that this has been, I call it like an overlay or blended or?
Well, any rezoning is, notification is sent out.
Or from
That's-
conditional use.
Right. Any BZA case, variance or conditional use or exception,
I guess the
notice is sent
question
out.
is, there are certain things in M1, okay, light industrial now, as I spoke with John today, that will be the same or an overlay as what will be considered C2.
I think it's just allowing a C2 zoning to do light manufacturing, correct?
Right, with a conditional use.
With a conditional use. And one example I know is along Central Avenue, in one of the Harmon sign buildings. You know, this guy was manufacturing small springs that were used in the airline industry. And I mean, you couldn't tell what he did on the outside of the building, but yet his classification was manufacturing, so he had to go through several hoops in order to be allowed to do that. They changed their zoning out there to a PUD that would allow them to do that rather than, and it really, to me, it was a no-brainer to make it more user-friendly in the township. So, you know, I would think if there's any manufacturing that you're going to notice, you know, there's going to be notices sent out and those sort of things, and this is more just to catch those small things that technically are manufacturing, but not really impacting the community.
Did you find out then that something is not happening that it was rezoned for?
Well, it would have to go through the rezoning process. Really, this is just, if someone comes to a current location that's zone C2 and has a light manufacturing company, they would allow to be moved in there with this special, is that correct, or?
Right.
Yeah.
Typically, this is an operation that employs a handful of people. There's no large semi-trucks rolling in and out, maybe UPS-sized trucks. Yeah, it's just assembly of small parts.
If they're not following what they say, then what happens? Who's responsible for making sure they adhere to what?
I mean, our zoning handles all that.
Because we still have several towns that are adhering to PUDs and that kind of thing.
Well, this was more of a commercial PUD, and again, I think it's just something that's going to make it a little easier for the property owners and things to be more flexible in who they rent to. And it won't have any changes in zoning other than allowing a certain class of business in there. Yeah, let the record reflect that was Penny Levine from her road. That's all right.
John Nagy commented too.
John Nagy.
Zoning department.
Anyone else care to speak? Then I would like to close the public hearing. And
I'd like to offer resolution 12-060.
Wait a minute, we have to
Sorry about the public.
have a vote on it to close, don't we? Dave, don't we have to vote to close?
No, we don't have to,
On that?
no.
I thought we did.
No.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Neil.
I'll second that.
Just want to make sure we're doing
Mr.
it.
Haddad,
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney,
Yes.
Mr. Dillon.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Darrell.
Next up on the agenda is the Public Works Department.
Oh, wait a minute, I had something I wanted to...
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Darryl, real quick, I still have one question for you. When we changed the thing about the compost and everything, I'm still getting a call about compost being 3 feet away from the property line. Do we have that in our zoning code?
No, we don't at this time.
We need to do something about that because there are people infiltrating on other people's property with their compost piles.
Okay, we can initiate it with the zoning
I
commission.
mean, to me, I don't care if you want to compost piles on your property, but when you're going on somebody else's property, it's damaging their fence and everything right now. I was out there and saw it.
Okay,
But I think, Kevin, I did visit that same location, and I think that guy better be careful of throwing stones because he was in violation of about a dozen zoning codes himself.
So I'm going after him too.
Well, I mean, I think it's a neighbor dispute rather than something our zoning department would get involved in, but
I just say if we just make a 3-foot barrier, that's all I'm saying, to keep it off the other people's property, they can fight everything else themselves. It's like a branch hanging in my yard from my neighbors, I cut the branches off. They can't do anything about it, what I mean? I think that's just fair.
Okay.
Don't you agree or no?
sure.
Just keep it away from the property line, whatever they do, they can fight everything else themselves. All right?
Okay.
All right, thanks. That's all I have, sorry.
Good afternoon. The monthly report for April has been submitted for your review. Big item is the spring cleanup, which I believe went very well. Also, we conducted the radio frequency narrow banding conversion, which is mandated by the end of the year. And McCord Road has officially started during the month of April, too. So, in fact, there's road closure there today. But those are the big items for the road department for April. Pending your questions, that's all I have for the board. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
That's one short report. Precise? Concise. Next up is the Fire Department, and Chief has a couple of resolutions.
Good afternoon. I have before you 2 resolutions. The first resolution is the one that I brought up last meeting for your review, and that is the automatic aid resolution between Sylvania Township Fire Department and Springfield Township Fire Department, Resolution 12-058.
I'll offer resolution -012. I'm not feeling good. I'll offer resolution number 12-058, automatic agreement between Springfield and Sylvania Township for aid with the fire department.
Second.
Mr. Haddad,
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney.
Yes.
Mr. Dillon.
Yes.
The second resolution I have before you is again one that I presented to you last meeting. It is the countywide emergency medical services agreement between the Board of Lucas County Commissioners and the subdivisions of Toledo, Maumee, Oregon, White House, Sylvania Township, and Springfield Township. Basically, it's the same agreement as we did in the past, but I think if you remember last meeting, I told you that there'll be a $50,000 increase to this contract this year, and for signing of the contract, and then we are trying to renegotiate for next year's contract for an increase in the fees. I suggested a 5% increase, and I think it came to 7.6% increase, is what it did for this year, so we got what we wanted.
Sounds like my kind of negotiation.
Tried.
I'll offer Resolution 12-059, accepting the countywide emergency medical service agreement between the Board of Lucas County Commissioners and Sylvania Township.
Second.
Mr. Haddad?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
I have two resignations, actually, to bring before you this evening. The first one is from Robert J. Wisniewski. He's a part-timer that we have on our department. He has got to resign his position of a part-time status due to medical reasons. The second one, I was not able to get in time before the agenda was submitted, is from Lieutenant Steve Steinmetz. Lieutenant Steinmetz will be retiring. His effective date is May 14th, 2012. He's a full-time employee.
Do we have anybody to replace him, Chief?
I have an active list, and I have somebody that I would like to promote.
Do I bring that up next meeting?
Maybe we could talk in executive session, if that's all right.
When was his resignation? September, did you say?
I'm sorry, May 14th. Did I say September?
I thought you did, but I could have not heard you properly.
Okay. May 14th.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Next up on the agenda is the police department. Do you have anything? No. Any questions for the chief?
Nope. I was wondering if he was here. He's behind Lee there. I couldn't see him.
Next item is administrator, and the only thing I have is in my hand. Mr. Burrell dropped off the check. We had our closing for the fire station number 2 yesterday, and I have the check for the closing.
Nice.
Everything went smooth on it. Next item is the fiscal officer, Mr. Simcoe.
We really just have one resolution, and it's 12-061. It's an increase of appropriations on the unencumbered balance. It's resolution 12-061. It's basically to pay some of operators for use of, to train some of the operators for overhead cranes that are on some of our facilities. We need to pay for some of their training. And also, we're going to get an instructor in from Owens Tech on welding issues. We're trying to extend the life of some of our equipment, as you know, in the road and bridge department, but it does require some additional maintenance on this equipment. And we need to get some additional expertise in on welding. Greg, do you have anything you want to add to that? Or?
No, sir, that's a good summary. We'd like to get a little bit more technical on our welding, specifically different metals.
Okay, I'll offer resolution 12-061 to appropriate township from unencumbered balance for the road and bridge fund.
Second.
Before we vote, though, I want to say, Greg, I was out to Waterville Township, and I was talking with them. They were looking at some mowing equipment that they were trying to purchase. I says, Greg started a coalition. I says, get together and start utilizing your funds and your equipment more, effectively between the different jurisdictions, so you're not buying stuff and wasting money, since your guys are broke out here too. So they agreed. So you should be getting calls from them pretty soon, I hope. So I just want to let you guys know that.
Thank you.
Okay, calling the roll, Mr. Haddad?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Genowine?
Yes.
That's all I have.
Okay. Kevin, you said you had one under other?
Well, I talked to Susan earlier, so, I thought about this. It's about healthcare, and since Jake's coming to the next meeting to talk about healthcare, I'll bring it up during that meeting, so we get an executive session. Okay? All right.
There was nobody signed in for the public for non-agenda items.
All right. I would like to offer a motion to go into executive session at 4:16.
Second.
And the reasons are?
And the reasons are contract negotiations with our Teamsters and our non-union employees.
And I'd also like to add, as the chief mentioned,
And the fire staffing.
fire.
Okay.
And then also pending litigation.
Yeah,
for-
pending litigation.
Pending litigation.
in the fire department.
Sounds like it's going to be longer in there than out here.
Who's second?
Neil did, but it's
Okay,
any
Mr.
litigation in the fire
Haddad?
department. Yes.
Mr. Mahoney? Yes. Mr. Genowine?
I just want to make sure it's all on record.
We'll take John. Yes.
Our microphones, our recording system's going.
Are we on?
Yes.
I would like to offer a motion to come out of executive session at 5:03.
Second.
Mr. Haddad?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Genowine?
Yes. I would like to offer Resolution 12-062 to authorize settlement with the Teamsters Local Number 20.
Second.
Mr. Haddad?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Genowine?
Yes. I would also like to offer Resolution 12-063 to authorize pay increases for non-union personnel.
Second?
Mr. Haddad?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Genowine?
Yes. And I would like to offer a motion to close the meeting at
5:04.
5:04.
Second.
Mr. Haddad?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Genowine?
Yes. The devil's in the details, you know that.
You'll get that pretty soon.
We've got an attached sheet that she's going to be adjusting.